I'm Alyssa Fuller with Shape of the City. I am at the YWCA with Karen Bell-Dancy. She's the executive director. Hi, Karen.
Good morning.
So tell me, what is the YWCA for those of our viewers who may not know?
Well, the YWCA Lincoln is a local chapter of a national network of YWCAs. There are over 170 YWCAs across the country, and we have been in Lincoln, Nebraska for 132 years now.
Wow, that's amazing. So talk about, how has the YWCA changed?
The YWCA has changed because the needs of the community have changed. Originally, when we were established here in the Lincoln community, it was to be a respite for women coming out of rural communities into the larger urban community, if you will, of Lincoln, Nebraska. And over the years, our mission, although it stayed the same of empowering women, we've added a second part to the mission of the elimination of racism. And so our programs that we develop fulfill that mission. Working with families to become more successfully economically, women that are single head of household families, we have a huge education priority and focus. Our office is the headquarters, if you will, are located here at 17th and South. But programming takes place around the community so that it's more accessible to the community members and those that would participate in the various programs.
Talk about some of the programs you guys have going on.
Currently, we have a mother-daughter circle that we've been operating for the last couple of years. We have one that targets the Sudanese community through a partnership with the Asian Community Center. We established a new circle this current year at the Good Neighbors Center that targets the Middle Eastern, North African women. And then in the spring, we will add a third installment to the circles, working with Release and Restored for women that have been recently released that were incarcerated. We also still have one of our flagship programs, if you will, which is our Smart Girls Circle, and that is a STEM initiative for girls grades 4th through 8th grade. Our Take a Break program, which is a respite for families that have children with severe disabilities, giving those caretakers the opportunity to take some time away, have their child involved in a structured and enriched environment for 2 Fridays of a month. Additionally, the community knows a lot about our Job Outfitters program, and that is a partnership with Goodwill that gives clients vouchers so that they can get the appropriate clothing for interviewing.
So you mentioned the Goodwill. Who are some of the other partners? Where might people see these programs in town going on?
You'll see programs at the Southeast Community Center with Job Outfitters, the Asian Community Center, the Good Neighbors Center, at 12 of the LPS schools between middle schools and elementary schools. You'll see the Y all around the city and hopefully making a great impact and building capacity around the needs of the community. I think the nonprofit plays a pivotal role in the community because a lot of times we act as a lag zone between legislatures, huge corporate entities, and then just being right there in the community. Typically with the nonprofit, you're centrally located, you know the needs of the community, people can walk in and get the help they need. But we also serve as advocates so that we identify with what are some of the bills that are out there that are being debated and what are some of the things that need to be on the plate and on the mind of our political leaders that they need to think about when they're considering which direction that they will make decisions on.
And what impact have you seen, especially when you're working with younger women?
Oh, with younger women, they're our future. And so we need to do everything we can to empower them and get them ready to move into the future. So what we do now, either by helping their families, for example, with our Circle of Security program, helping mom or dad get clothing so they can actually get a job, they have the right tools that they need for interviewing, for job retention, for sustainability, that trickles down to every member of that family. So with young women, we're looking at education programs, giving them ideas about different career paths, but giving them the support that they need, that even in this climate, there is hope.
So if there's a woman out there that's listening to this, what message would you want to leave them with?
I want to leave them with stick with it. things are really difficult right now. When we look on the broad landscape politically, it looks kind of dismal. And so what we really want to do, while we consider that, we want to focus locally. And that's what we're doing with community impact.
If there's somebody out there who may need assistance, how would they reach out to you? What's the best way?
Probably the best way is visiting our website online, www.ywcalincoln.org, and or calling our office at 402-434-3494, and they should be directed to the right person.
We are with Camisa. Camisa is with the Asian Community Center. Can you tell us about the mother-daughter circle that you work with in partnership with the YWCA? What is the mother-daughter circle?
Yeah, I think this program is very interesting. It's talk about the relationship between mother and daughter circle. It's special for my group, most of them as refugees. They came here either when their kids, their daughter are young or born in the United States. So the culture is different. The mother is still in their old culture, old way they raise their kids, but their daughter got more American. On top of that, they are teenagers, so there is more conflict. So I found this program is really helpful for mother and daughter to sit together, listening to each other, and this really bonding or sometimes building the relationship. I remember one of my circle, I have a mom, back home she was 10 years old, she got lost from her family during the war, and she ended up in the camp. She found a nice family, she been raised, she got opportunity to get educated and get married and come to United States. Finally, she find her family. Her daughter never listened to this story before. When they sat together and her mom start talking about the time she was 10 years old, she got lost and all this trauma, difficulty until she came here, her daughter, she just raised up and knee to her mom and say, Mom, sorry if I disrespected you. You are my hero. You are the most hero mom in the world. So at that time, you feel like it's really clicked the relationship. It's not before there because they didn't have time to sit together. So I feel like really this circle is opportunity for girls to sit with their mom and listen to each other and get this bond. I really appreciate that.
And what advice would you have to someone who may be watching this as to how to reach out, how to make that first step to, if it's reaching out to the Asian Community Center or, because there's probably a lot of mother and daughters that need some bonding.
I know there is a lot of women there with their daughter. Some of them maybe hear about this program, but they didn't know the benefit. But I tell them, if you hear this program, please come to Asian Center or the YWCA and sign yourself and your daughter. Is this really great opportunity for you to renew the relationship, to understand your daughter better, and to be aware about your own behavior so you cannot get to your daughter business. Just respect and appreciate each other.
Why do you think it's so important to have support like the YWCA? All the programs they do, to have a support system for women.
I think this is really empowering. It's not only woman, the girl, the whole family. When you have mother and daughter, they have good relationship, can affect the whole family because we know the woman is the master key for the whole family to get the family strong. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, and good luck with everything.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
My name is Damon Hershey. I'm one of many people in Lincoln that rides a bike year-round. It is important for winter riding to be prepared, especially being visible. You want to have a good quality light. You want to be visible to all road users. You want to be sharing the road. You also want to remember the 3-foot passing law. That's a safety for both the cyclists as well as the motorists. And of course, if you'd like to find out more, you can visit lincoln.ne.gov.
I am at one of the Independence houses here in Lincoln, Nebraska. I'm here with Marsha, the owner. Hi, Marsha.
Hi.
Can you tell me a little bit about your background? How long have you been involved with Alzheimer's and dementia patients?
Well, for probably close to 30 years. I've been an RN all my life and involved with elderly most of my career. And Probably what I noticed is as I worked with the elderly, and at the time I started working, there wasn't really many assisted livings. They were just coming into vogue. And there was a big difference between being in your home and actually being in a skilled facility, because that was your choice at that time. So that's where I got the thought and the concept, okay, why don't I do this? Get a nice home that's a very warm, loving home, and license that as assisted living and for memory care. So that's how it got started, in a secure environment and keeping it small, because people with dementia have a problem when they get in large groups. They just don't handle that. They get irritated, they will regress and go hide. They just don't like it at all. They can't function very well.
This is the original house that we're in.
This is the original house, and this opened in the mid-90s. So it's been a little over 20 years ago that I opened this in Lincoln. When I started, most of the facilities were skilled nursing, which is not very home-like, expensive. And what I noticed is a lot of people with memory care don't have a lot of health issues besides their dementia. Some of them are what you'd call healthy as a horse. They just really are just slowly losing their mind and their memory. So the people that need more emotional support or activities, we have a full-time activity director every day. I mean, they're not 24/7, but we're 7 days a week, keeping people engaged, and that's important. So the socialization you get, plus the loving care, and we can provide more one-on-one care, because as you see, this is a small environment, and that's what's important.
So what sort of range of ages are you looking at that are coming through here?
We probably have residents from age 60 up to 100. And now that the baby boomers are coming through, we see more people in their 60s. But we have quite a variety of age groups.
So somebody who might be out there, either they're concerned this might be happening to them, or maybe they have family that are concerned about this. What is the first step that they need to do to get assistance?
Well, what I would say is I encourage people to go to their doctor, get a thorough checkup. And it might be your own doctor. There's certainly assessment centers, because you need to find out, is there other causes why you might be having memory issues? Maybe you have a bad infection. Maybe you need to clear up a bad UTI. I mean, it could be something like that. So find out, is there other conditions and what shape are you in? Do a whole head to toe, as a nurse, a head to toe assessment, and make sure what you're really got going on with that person. Most physicians don't do that much as far as tests go. A lot of it's based on symptoms. You know, what do you see? Are they slowly losing their memory? Do they have behaviors that you notice? They're getting aggressive, or their personality has changed. They used to be an introvert, all of a sudden they're an extrovert. It's like, what happened here? You know, what kind of things are going on? Their routines, they forget how to do routines. Used to be a great cook, now they can't even remember how to cook. You might see they can't even use a stove anymore. So you start looking for general signs and symptoms like that.
Some people, I imagine, maybe they're trying to do this, manage it within their home.
And a lot do.
What advice do you have for them to get assistance or resources that might be available for them?
Well, we get calls like that every day. And we do have support groups, and that's a huge plus, because people need to talk to other people that have the same issues and the same problems. And so we encourage them to come to our support groups. The other thing is they certainly should start looking ahead. Denial is a big issue. They put it off until a crisis happens. But the best would be is to plan ahead. You know, it's not going to go away. So you need to look at, what are my options, what's best and fits my family and my comfort, and look around and make sure you've picked the best choice for your family.
And maybe it is denial. Are there other things you see are factors that are the causes for people not getting assistance?
Well, some of it could be financial, they just can't afford it. And some, I think in that age group of 80, 90-year-olds, you hear all the time, my spouse said they would never put me in a facility. I would always be at home. They will take care of me. And some spouses will try until their health declines and they just can't do it anymore. Or the kids, maybe the one spouse has already passed away. The kids have a busy life and they really can't do that either. But a lot of people will try in their home for quite a period of time, and then when it comes to the end, they really need assistance.
So if we have viewers that want information on independence houses or support groups or other resources in town that involving dementia, where can they go?
Well, we have a website, www.theindependencehouses.com, or they can call us, 402-475-7755. I will say, everybody's situation is unique. There's various kinds of dementia, and we've dealt with all kinds.
Well, thank you so much, and I love to hear about the work you've been doing.
Thank you.
So I'm here with Jean. Hi, Jean.
Hello, Melissa.
So tell me a little bit about your experience with dementia as it relates to your family.
Well, it goes back probably last year, maybe October, and my mom, who has pretty much become an invalid, was trying to move on her walker, and she fell. And she had fallen a couple times. About the third time she fell, she could not remember anything. And my daughter and I decided it became a safety thing, so we better take a look at possibly moving into some type of assisted living. And that's when it all kind of started. So it was really kind of an eye-opener, and it was scary because we didn't want anything to happen. If she would have hit her head, it could have been a horrible outcome on that. So we moved on it real quick.
So talk about how, I guess she had some health concerns before, correct? And so was it a doctor that also, did you go to the doctor and did they assist you as well in making the decision?
Well, her doctor actually, didn't quite understand how we could manage with her in the house. And he had suggested it several months before that. And then when everything started to kind of happen in succession, we decided we better do something about it before something really horrible happened.
We have viewers out there who maybe haven't being in a similar situation. What do you think is the biggest part of, moving someone to an assisted living place or getting assistance? What do you think is the challenge or the piece that keeps people from doing that?
Well, one thing is my mother needed to recognize that. It's like, being an alcoholic and realizing you have a drinking problem. So when we told her that this has become a safety issue, she bought into it. And she realized she trusted my judgment, she trusted my daughter's judgment, so it really was a win-win. Didn't take a lot of coercing, it didn't take a lot of trying to convince her to do it. She pretty much understood that, hey, we're at a point now where I can't have them trying to help me. We need bigger and better facilitators and people that are professionally trained to do this.
Do you have any other advice for people out there that are concerned about this, about it, either themselves or a family member that this may happen to?
I would say do your homework, your due diligence, so to speak, and know what you need. That's the number one thing. You need to know what you really need for that person. And it's not a matter of really trying to have to sell it to them. They have to take a look at it and understand that this is going to be the future. You have to understand that this is going to be where you're going to be. And I'm over there almost 4 or 5 times a week to see her. It's a wonderful place for her to go because she's made a lot of friends. The staff is great. And I'm not just blowing smoke. They're great people. They're so nurturing and caring. And I've become really attached to most of them that work there. So there must be a good selection process on who they hire. And that's a good thing.
Well, thank you for coming on and sharing your story, and good luck with everything.
Thank you, Melissa.
Thanks.
What if you could add 5 years to your child's life and make your whole family healthier with simple changes? Partnership for Healthy Lincoln wants to help you and your family live longer, healthier lives. It's easier than you think. Take the dog for a walk, play more and text a little less. Swap out a soda for water once a day. Keep fruits and veggies handy for snacking. For more ideas, visit healthylincoln.org.
As of January 1st, People's Health Center is going to become Bluestem Health. Bluestem Health is a federally qualified health center. It's a special designation given to us by HRSA, which is a federal branch of the government. It's the Health Resources Service Administration. We've been here since 2003, so we just passed 14 years of existence in Lincoln. That's at 1021 North 27th or 27th and Y intersection. We also have a Health 360 clinic. The Health 360 clinic is at 2301 O Street, and that clinic is a partnership with People's Health Center and Lutheran Family Services. Then we have primary care clinic at Bryan West Medical Plaza, Suite 435. Billing, administration offices, and our community health department at 2246 O Street. We only offer dental services, full dental services at our main site at 27th and Y. And then on our Health 360 site, we have a dental hygienist that goes there several times a week. The purpose of us going through the rebranding is we need to be open to serving all people. And so as we grow as an organization and bring more patients on board, we want to make sure that people don't feel like they're going to a clinic that just serves the homeless or just serves the Medicaid or just serves the poor. We serve people no matter what their socioeconomic status is, whether they are a doctor, lawyer, or whether they're living on the streets. And so that's kind of what makes us different from the other private practices. Bluestem Health is kind of a culmination of all of that. And a lot of people have confused us with other nonprofits in the city, in the community. And so this is another way for us to distinguish ourselves from other people's names and entities in the community. So Health 360 was our first integrated care clinic. So we've had behavioral health services there for about 3 years. And so we are taking that across our entire organization. So we have a therapist at our Health 360. We have a psychologist at our main site. And so our goal is to bring behavioral health into the primary care setting to help with those patients who need a little bit more assistance. We use those behavioral health consultants as a way to help patients navigate their disease or in some type of crisis situation that they're going through. So for instance, if we have a patient who has diabetes and we can't get their A1C down, which is a blood test that helps tell us where their diabetes is. In some family practices, the doc would say, I can't help you, you're not compliant, so you're gonna have to go see another doctor. In our setting, we bring that therapist in, that BHC, and we try to figure out what are the barriers to them not getting their A1C down. And so we develop a plan with the social worker, with our certified diabetic educator. We have a chronic disease nurse, and we also have a paramedic that is our community outreach worker. And so that paramedic can actually go out into the home and check to see if they're checking their sugars right. They can go and see what kind of food the patient has at home. So we're all about wrapping services around the patient. And we think this is the best way to serve patients. And we don't charge for the certified diabetic educator, we don't charge for the chronic disease nurse, and we don't charge for that paramedic to do house calls. Those are all just part of doing business for us. Bluestem Health has been accredited by the NCQA as a level 2 patient-centered medical home. Patient-centered medical home is important because you should have your health care in one place, whether that's medical, dental, behavioral health. We don't want patients, going into a fragmented system, using the ER for their, primary care. If you come to a patient-centered medical home, your access is here. So your doc is here, your medical records are here, you know the staff know you, and so it just helps with the care. If you call in and say, I have a sore throat, the doc knows you, they can say, okay, well, do you need an appointment or not? We'll triage the situation, and most likely we'll just, say we need to see you, or, I'll call you in a prescription. And so having that doc that knows you and knows your symptoms, knows your illness, and what your chronic diseases are really helps in better care. If we can help patients in any way, that's what we want to do.
Shape of the City is dedicated to keeping Lincoln informed of health and wellness programs and events. Visit our calendar at lincoln.ne.gov, keyword Wellness Calendar. If you'd like to see your program or event covered, email us at lnktvhealth@lincoln.ne.gov.